Hello learners, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to see another SQL case study. And this is a very special case study because it is based on the IPL dataset. Yes, we're going to see the various data related to IPL or tournament league, and we're going to solve various questions based on that data. So let's first begin by understanding the data and what tables are present and what actually the data is present. So basically there are two tables, matches and deliveries. So in the matches table, you have the unique data of all the matches present. Okay. So over here you can see the season. We're going to see 3 seasons of IPL, that is 2017, 2008 and then 2009. Okay. So 3 seasons we're going to see, and this match this ID column represents unique ID of each match. Then you have the season. Okay, so this is the overall data for each match that has been played in each season. Then you have the city in which the match was played, then the date on which the match was played, then the team won. Okay, the first team, the second team, then the toss winner, that which team had won the toss. Okay, then you have the toss decision, that RCB won the toss and then they decided to field. Then you have the result. Result means that how was the result? Was it normal or it was a tie? Okay, you have a value for tie as well. Okay, was it normal or was it tie? Then you have the DL applied, which means that Duckworth-Lewis method applied. So it means that if it has been applied, then it is 0. Oh, sorry, if it wasn't applied, then it is 0. And if it was applied, then it is 1. Okay, so you see at some places there is 1. Okay, it is a special rule for in the cricket matches that is applied to restrict some number of overs and the runs to be chased. Okay, then you have the winner, that which team had won the match. After that you have win by runs. Okay, that by how many runs the team won, and win by wickets. That means by how many wickets the winner had won. So if you have value for win by runs, then you won't have any value for win by wickets, because we know that it is dependent on which team is chasing, okay, and which team is defending. It is dependent on that. So this is the win by runs and win by wickets. So if the team is defending, then you will have, and it wins, then it has win by runs. But if the team is chasing and it wins, then it will be having win by wickets. So for example, here the winner is Rising Pune Supergiant, and they were chasing and they win by 7 wickets. Okay. Similarly, Kolkata Knight Riders, they were also chasing, they won by 10 wickets. Here RCB, they were defending or fielding, and they won by 15 runs. Okay. Then you have the player of the match. Okay, there is a player of the match for each match. Then the venue, as in the name of the stadium on which the match had been played. Then umpire 1, umpire 2 and umpire 3, the respected umpires for each and every match. Okay, so this was the matches table. And the second table that we're going to look is the deliveries table. So basically in the deliveries table, you have a record for each delivery for each match, okay, in each match. So suppose this is the match ID. So you see here 1 is present so many times because it represents the deliveries for the each and every ball that has been put in each match. Okay, so this is for inning number 1. Inning as in the first team which is batting or bowling, and then inning 2 is for the second team which is batting or bowling. So for match 1, you also have the data for the second inning. I'll show you. Okay, so this is the match number 1 and second inning. So like that, you have the data for so many matches, for all the matches that has been present in the matches table. Okay, then after inning, you have the batting team, then the bowling team. Like for the first inning, Sunrisers Hyderabad is batting and RCB is bowling. But in the second inning, you will see that RCB will be batting and Sunrisers Hyderabad will be bowling. I'll show you. Okay, so here you see in the second inning, RCB is batting and SRH, which is Sunrise Hyderabad, is bowling. Then you have the over number. So you see over here there are 7 records for over number 1. Why 7 records? You will say that there are only 6 balls in over. But if you have some extra ball like a wide or a no ball, then you will have an extra ball, correct? So in that case, this is the ball number. Ball number 1, ball number 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you have the batsman that who has faced the ball, and then the non-striker, then the bowler. Then this is super over, like is the over super over. Then if it is not, then the value is 0. If it is, then the value will be 1. Then you have the wide runs, that how many runs are given for wide. So you see over here 2 runs are given for wide. So this, because of this wide ball, this 7th extra ball was played. Then you have the by runs, okay, whatever by runs, then leg by runs, no ball runs. Over here you see there's a 1 no ball in the second over. So you will observe that second over also has 7 balls because of the extra no ball. Then after no ball, you have penalty runs, then batsman run. Batsman runs means that whatever runs have been made by the batsman by scoring a single, double, or any boundary. Then you have the extra runs. Extra runs as in whatever runs are there by adding all these rows, okay, from K to O runs. Okay, whatever the runs are there, these are extra runs. And then finally you have the total runs for each delivery, which will be calculated by adding the batsman run and the extra runs. So for example, if the batsman has scored a 4, he hit a boundary on a wide ball. So that means the total runs will be 5, because 4 runs from the wide ball and 1 run from the boundary. 4 runs from the boundary and 1 from the wide ball. Okay, so that is how total runs have been calculated. Then you have the player dismissed. So if there is a wicket on a delivery, then you will have this player dismissed record. And then you have the dismissal reason, that it is a caught or it is a LB or it is a bowled. Okay, so according to that, you will have the dismissal reason and the fielder. So if the value is caught, then you will have a fielder over here, or if it is a run out, then you will have a fielder. Okay, so this is all about the deliveries table. There are numerous records over here around, I'll show you. Thousands of records are present. Yes, you can see around 29,000 records are present in this deliveries table. Okay, so this entire 2 tables have been given to you in the link provided in the description box. You can download it from that, and you can study the data. Okay, so now this is the solution, the script to create the table matches and then to insert the data into it. You see, entire script has been provided with the data. And also for the deliveries table as well, you have the script so that you can use this script to create the data. Okay, so now let's, after we have reviewed the data, the data and the script to create this data has already been provided in this drive link, and this drive link has been attached in the description box given below. Okay, so I hope you've understood the data and the numerous columns that are present in it. Okay, so now let's begin with solving the questions. So we are going to solve around 17 questions related to the case study, to the IPL dataset, based on the 2 tables, matches and deliveries as we saw. So now let's begin with solving the questions. So the first question is, what are the top 5 players with the most player of the matches awards? So now I'm going to solve these questions in MySQL Workbench. You can use any other platform according to your convenience, but see to it that you use the proper syntax to solve the questions. I'm using the MySQL Workbench, so I'll be using the MySQL syntax over here. So first, I've already created the tables and the data. I've inserted the data as well. So I'll be simply using my database, which is IPL. Okay. So this is done. So the first question that we have to solve is, what are the top 5 players with the most player of the match awards? So if you remember, we have in the matches table, we have a column naming player of match. in which we have the player of the match names. Okay, who was the player of the match for the particular match. So let's solve this using this column which is present in the matches table. So simply we will write select player of match, okay, which is the column name, count star as award count. Okay, this is a simple query. Even if you have a little knowledge of SQL, you will be able to understand this query because we are simply using group by over here. Okay, player of match, order by. Now we will be ordering it in the awards count because we want the top 5 of them in the descending order because we want the top. Okay, so it will be arranging in an order that the player with the maximum awards will be present on the first place. Then limit 5. Why 5? Because we want the top 5 players. So simply we will select this, run. And you see these are the top 5 players which are having the highest player of the match awards. Yusuf Pathan, then Marsh, Watson, Dhoni and Stokes. Okay, so this was our first query in which we have simply used group by, order by and limit. Okay, we have selected the player of the match column. From that we have counted that how many awards are present for each player, and then we have displayed the record in the descending order of awards count, extracting only the top 5 of them. Okay, now let's move ahead to the second question. How many matches were won by each team in each season? Okay, so we want to count the winning count for each team and for every season. So the winning team record is also present in the matches table only. So first let's select the season and the winner. Now in the table of matches we have the season, okay, a column named season, and we also have the winner. This is the season, okay, as you see, and here you have the winner. Okay, so simply we are extracting the 2 columns, season and winner, and we are counting that how many times the team has won. Matches won. This is the alias name. Okay, this matches won is the alias name that we are giving to our result from matches. This is the table, and we will simply group by season and winner. Okay, so you see for each season you have the team name and the matches that they have won. So in the season 2017, Sunrisers Hyderabad had won 8 times. Okay, 8 matches they had won. Similarly, in 2008, Chennai Super Kings had won 9 matches. Okay, so for each season and for each team, the number of matches that they have won is found out. Let's move ahead to the third question. What is the average strike rate of batsmen in the IPL dataset? So you have to find out the overall average strike rate. Okay, they haven't mentioned that for which match, for which season, or for which team. Okay, you have to find out the overall average strike rate of the batsman. This is the question 3. Okay, so now the strike rate information you will be getting it from the deliveries table, because in the deliveries table you have the count of runs made by each batsman. Okay, so we'll be using the deliveries table over here, and also nested queries we are going to use now. Nested query, I'll show you how. First let's write down the query. So this is, I'm selecting average strike rate as. Now this as is an alias name that I'm giving to this column from. Now this is my nested query. Select batsman. First I'm selecting the batsman name. Okay, now sum of total runs. Okay, we have a total runs column. Total runs are the batsman runs plus the extra runs. Okay, count ball. So this will be counting the number of balls into 100. Why? Because for finding out strike rate, we know that it should be multiplied by 100. This is as strike rate. Alias name I have given from deliveries. The table name is deliveries, group by batsman. Okay, so this we are finding out for each batsman, and then this is batsman stats. Again, I'm giving an alias name. Okay, now let's run this. So you see, the average strike rate for the complete data set is 113.73. So how have we found out the strike rate? First, let's have a look at the inner query. So basically in the inner query, I've simply selected the batsman name, and then for each batsman, okay, this is group by, we have applied group by on the batsman. So what does that mean is for each batsman, we have found out the strike rate. How we have found out the strike rate? We simply took the sum, okay, we took the sum of total runs. So for example, in this deliveries table, suppose this is the batsman Warner, okay, David Warner. So David Warner, for each ball, he has made some total runs. So first is 0, then 0, 4, 2, okay. So wherever the batsman name is David Warner, it will find out the total runs, and then it will apply the sum. So it will calculate the total, okay, of the total runs, and then divide it by the count of balls that the batsman has played, okay, only which the batsman has played. Then it will multiply it by 100 to get the strike rate. So basically strike rate is nothing, as we know. It is just the runs made by the batsman on each ball. Okay. So by using this formula, we calculate the strike rate, and then we apply average on this strike rate that we have found. So by applying the average, we will get the overall average for all the batsmen. Okay. In the inner query, we found out for individual batsmen that what is individual batsman's strike rate. But by applying average, we will find out the overall average strike rate. You can also run this inner query so that you will understand that what actually it is getting in the inner query. I'll show you. So this is our inner query. Let's run this. So you see, this is the strike rate for each batsman. See, David Warner, it is 145. Shikhar Dhawan, it is 123. Hendricks is 135. Yuvraj Singh, 151. Okay, so it has found out the strike rate for individual batsmen. But in the outer query, we apply the average function to get the average of all of these strike rates. Because in the question, it has been given that we have to find out the overall strike rate. Okay, so now let's move ahead to the fourth question. What is the number of matches won by each team batting first versus batting second? Okay, so we have to find out the number of matches that is won by each team if they're batting first. Okay, so let's write down the query first. In this query also we are going to use a nested query. So this is count star as matches won. So basically here we have the batting first team name and the count of the matches that they have won from. Now this is the inner query. Select case. So we are basically using the case when statement. Okay. Win by runs is greater than 0. If you remember, we had a win by runs column. Then team 1, else team 2, end as batting first. So basically here we are finding out that which team was the batting first team and they have won. Okay. From matches where now this here we are verifying that there is no tie in the team. Okay. So this is tie as batting first teams. This is the alias name, and finally group by batting first. So first let's run the query and then I'll explain it to you. Okay, so you see batting first. When Sunrisers Hyderabad was batting first, it has won 8 matches. When Kings 11 Punjab was batting first, it won 18 matches. Same for Mumbai Indians, it was batting first, it won 20 matches. Okay, so what we have done is simply, first let's look at the inner query. What we did is select case when. Okay, if the win by runs are greater than 0, then team 1 is the winner. Okay, I had explained it to you that what is the significance of win by runs and win by wickets column. Okay, this is win by runs. Okay, whenever a team is defending, okay, it will have the win by runs value. Okay, if a team is defending, which means that it had batted in the first inning. Okay, so it will clearly mean that it is batting first if the win by runs are greater than 0. So team 1 will be the winner. Okay, or else if this win by runs is less than 0, then team 2 will be the winner. Okay, so this is the batting first, which will be the value. Like if team 1 is suppose CSK, then batting first value will be CSK. Okay, from matches where winner is not equal to tie. And then finally in the outer query, we select the batting first team. This is the batting first, and we count. Okay, we simply count the number of rows that come under the batting first record. And then we have also grouped by based on the batting first. Like there are various records, okay, in the batting first, but we then group by. Like we apply group by on Sunrisers Hyderabad and then see that how many rows are present at the Sunrisers Hyderabad. So we get that 8 rows are present. This is 8 rows. So that is why the matches 1 value will be 8. Okay. Similarly for Rising Pune Super Giants, 10 rows are under the batting first, Rising Pune Super Giants. So count of star will be 10. Okay. So I hope you've understood this query. Let's move ahead to the 5th question of this case study. Which batsman has the highest strike rate by scoring minimum 200 runs? Okay, so here also we have to find out the batsman who has the highest strike rate. But there is a condition that he should have scored minimum 200 runs. So let's do it. So we'll simply select the batsman name. Then we have to find out the strike rate, correct? So we'll apply the formula that we had seen before. Batsman runs. Here we are only considering the batsman run dividing by count of star, which means the count of deliveries he has played. Because we know in the deliveries table, each record represents a ball that the bowler has faced. So this is the strike rate, the alias name, then from the table of deliveries, group by batsman. Okay, because we want the data, the record for each batsman. Now this is an important condition of having batsman runs, okay, sum of batsman run greater than equal to 200, because it has been mentioned in our question. So order by strike rate, because we want the highest, so we use descending, and limit 1 because we want the top 1 only. So select this and run. Let's see. So Virendra Sehwag, okay, Virendra Sehwag is the batsman who is having the highest strike rate of 175. Okay, and he has also scored minimum 200 runs. If this condition is removed, okay, what will be the output? Let's check. If this condition of 200 is removed, then maybe we will have a different output. Let's see. Yes, so you see 300, a strike rate of 300 by Queenie. Okay, he has got a strike rate of 300, but he hasn't scored minimum 200 runs. Okay, so that is why we have this condition. So we get output as Virendra Sehwag. Okay, so basically we have just selected the batsman name and we found out the strike rate by applying this formula. Okay, so total runs upon total deliveries faced into 100 from the table of deliveries grouped by batsman, and we have applied the condition of 200 runs. We have ordered it by strike rate in the descending order and limit 1 because we want only the top first record. Now moving ahead to the question number 6. How many times has each batsman been dismissed by the bowler Malinga? Now you see that in the deliveries table we have the wickets, okay, that on which ball was a player dismissed. So using that we are going to find out that how many batsmen, okay, or else that each batsman has been dismissed by Malinga how many times. So let's do that. So first we'll select the batsman name, okay. Then we'll be counting star as total dismissals from deliveries table, where bowler equal to SL Malinga. Why? Because this is the format in which his name is present in the table. So we have to use that format only. Group by batsman. Okay. So what this will do is it will simply find out. Let's first see what the output is. So you see, this is the batsman name and the total dismissals. Okay, that done by Malinga. Okay, which means that Gautam Gambhir was dismissed by Malinga 8 times. Same Lin was dismissed by Malinga 9 times. Yadav was dismissed by Malinga 4 times. Pandey was dismissed by Malinga 6 times. Okay, so we have simply selected the batsman name and we have counted the total dismissals from deliveries. Okay, where bowler was equal to SL Malinga. Okay, so this was the 6th query. Now let's move ahead to the 7th question. Just a second. I think here we have to add another condition, that player dismissed should not be equal to null. Player dismissed is not null, and yes. Now let's check. Yes, now the number has reduced. Okay, so this will be the correct query, that each batsman how many times he has been dismissed by Malinga. Okay, so player dismissed should not be equal to null. Why? Because see, player dismissed column gives us the information that there is a wicket over here. Okay, so that is why it should not be null and the bowler name should be Malinga. Okay, so this is the updated query. So now let's move ahead to the next question, the 7th question. What is the average percentage of boundaries, that is 4s and 6s combined, hit by each batsman? Now we have to find out the percentage of boundaries hit by each batsman. Okay. So similarly, first we will write the column of batsmen, then average function. Here we are going to apply case when to check with on which, like how many balls it has been hit to boundaries. So when batsman underscore runs is equal to 4, or batsman under run is equal to 6, which means if the runs are 4 or 6, then the value shall be 1, else 0. So it will simply count the number of balls on which the batsman has hit a 4 or has hit a 6. Okay, 0 end into 100. We are going to multiply it by 100 because we want the percentage. Okay, so we'll simply multiply by 100. Let's give the alias name as average boundaries from the table deliveries, group by batsman, because we want the data for each batsman. Okay, so we simply group it by batsman. So you see, this is the average boundary percentage. So David Warner has a boundary percent of 19.26. Similarly, Shikhar Dhawan has it 14.86. Then you have Huda, he has 16.98. Okay, so this query can also be modified by asking who has the highest average boundary percent, okay, or who has the lowest one, etc. So in this, simply we have selected the batsman name, then we took average, case when, like we checked if the runs are 4 or if the runs are 6, then we will take the sum, okay, the value will be 1. So by using this, it will count that on how many balls the batsman has hit a 6 or a 4. Then we have multiplied by 100 to calculate the percentage, okay, based on the table of deliveries. So this was the 7th query. Now let's move ahead to the 8th question. Okay, so the 8th question is, what is the average number of boundaries hit by each team in each season? So in the previous question we had calculated it for each batsman, but now we have to find it for each team and for each season. Okay, so in this we have to combine the two tables because the information about the season is present in the matches table. Okay, you see this column season we have over here, but the information about boundaries is present in the deliveries table. So in this we have to combine the two tables. So first let's do this. So batting team, average fours plus sixes. So what is this 4s plus 6s? I'll show you, because in this also we're going to use nested query. This is the alias name, average boundaries from. Now this is the first nested query. Select season, comma match ID, batting team. Okay, now some case batsman underscore runs is equal to 4. Okay, according to the previous query, we're going to check over here. If the runs are 4 or 6, then 1, else 0, end as 4s. Okay, so this is the alias name 4s which is present over here. Similarly, we're going to do it for 6s as well. Same thing, okay, case batsman runs is equal to 6. You can do it according to the previous query also, but here I am doing it because I wanted to show that there are two ways. Okay, there are many ways to do the same thing. Else 0. So whatever way you find easy, you can use that. End as 6s. Okay, so that is the 6s which is present above. From, now which table it is from? Deliveries, comma matches, because we are joining the two tables where, okay, so now we will be giving the common column name on which the two tables are joined. So if you see that the common columns will be the match ID, correct, where deliveries dot match underscore ID is equal to matches dot ID. Okay, then you have the group by season. You will be grouping the data based on season, based on match ID, and based on the batting team. Okay, and finally you apply a final group by for the outer query on season and batting team. Okay, I'll explain the detailed query to you. Just before that, we will just run it. I think there's an error. Just a second. Here we have to give an alias name for this as well. So you have team boundaries. Okay, now let's see. Yes, so for each season, so in the season 2017, the team Sunrisers Hyderabad had scored 20.69 percentage of boundaries. Okay, so this is the data that we have retrieved. Now let's have a look at the query. Okay, so you see over here, first let's understand the inner query. In the inner query, nothing but just we have selected the season, the match ID, batting team, and we have counted the number of 4s and the number of 6s. Okay, just that much. So we have total 5 columns that we have extracted in the inner query. First is season, match ID, batting team, then fours and sixes. Okay. Then we have joined the two tables, deliveries and matches, based on the common columns of match ID and ID. Then we have applied group by based on season, match ID, and batting team. So for each season, for each match, and for each team, the number of fours and sixes has been calculated. Then for the outer query, we have simply selected the season and the batting team. Okay, here from this thing, the season and the batting team, and we have found out the average number of fours plus sixes. Okay, nothing, that much only we have done. We have just found out the average of fours and sixes for each season and for each batting team. So this wasn't just a simple query, but it is a bit complicated to see, but it is easy to understand. Okay, you can just go through it step by step and then you will understand. Okay, now let's move ahead to the ninth question. What is the highest partnership of runs for each team and in each season? Okay, so we have to find out the highest partnership of runs. Now, according to the last query, the season information is present in the matches table. So here also we will be needing to join the two tables. Now this is max, total runs. So what are these total runs and why max, that I'll make you understand after we have written the entire query. From here also we're going to use nested query. So this is select season, comma, batting team, comma, partnership. What is this partnership? We are going to see some total runs as total runs. From, now there is another nested query over here. Here we have multiple nested queries. Again, select season, match ID, batting team, over number. Okay, here you have the over number as well. Then you have the sum of batsman runs. Okay, because we have to find out the partnership, correct? Partnership, comma, sum of batsman runs plus, just a second, sum of extra runs. So we know that total runs are calculated by summing up the extra runs and batsman runs, correct? As total runs. From deliveries, this is the table name, comma, matches, where deliveries dot match ID will be equal to matches dot ID. Okay, and okay, after that, now we are applying a group by for season, match ID. So in this query, we are in the innermost query for now. On the batting team, then over number. Okay, that's all. Let's give a alias name to this. So let's name it as team scores. Okay, after that, a group by is applied to the second inner query. Okay, season, then batting team and partnership. And give an alias to this also. This will be highest partnerships. Just a second. Okay, so this highest partnership that we have extracted is nothing but this value. And final group by will be applied to the outer query, season, comma, batting team. Okay, that's all. Now let's first run the query. I think there's an error. Okay, spelling mistake. Yes, we have got the output. So you see, in the season 2017, the batting team Sunrisers Hyderabad had the highest partnership of runs of 269 runs. Okay, so you see, this is the highest partnership for each season, or for each season for each team. So let's look at the queries. So first, let's look at the innermost query. This is the innermost query. What we have done is we have selected the season, the match ID, batting team, and over number. And we have applied a sum on the batsman runs to get the value of partnership. Okay, for each over, whatever runs have been found, we have taken the sum to get the partnership, and then the sum of batsman runs plus sum of extra runs, that is the total runs. Okay, so total runs have been calculated from deliveries and matches. We have joined the two tables, and group by has been applied on season, match ID, batting team, and over number, because we have found out the scores. Okay, the partnership for each season, for each match, and for each batting team, and for each over. Okay, for each over also we have calculated the partnership. Now, and this, the name of this data is nothing but team scores. Okay, it is team scores. Now, in the second query, what we have done, we have selected the season, the batting team, and the partnership. Okay, partnership is nothing but this value, which is the sum of batsman runs, and with partnership, the sum of total runs. Okay, this total runs over here, we have took the sum of that in the outer query. Okay, and for this, the group by has been applied over here on season, batting team, and partnership. Okay, and this is the highest partnership. Okay, now in the most outer query, what we have done, we have selected the season, the batting team, and the max total runs as the highest partnership. Okay, why max total runs? Because we want the maximum of total runs for each partnership. Okay, and we have applied the group by on season and batting team. So that is why for each season and for each batting team, we get the highest partnership. Okay, which is the maximum number of total runs that have been hit by the team. Okay, in each season. So this was the ninth query. If you have any doubt in this query, you can put it down in the comment section. I'll definitely try to solve it out. Okay, now we are going to move ahead to the 10th question. So the 10th question is, how many extras, that is wides and no balls, were bowled by each team in each match? Okay, so in this we have to find out the records for each team and for each match, but how many extra balls have been bowled? So this is the 10th question. So we have select m dot id. What is this m? We are using it as an alias for the table of matches. Then d dot bowling team. Okay. Then we have sum of d dot extra runs. Okay. In the deliveries table, we have a column of extra runs. Okay, that will give you a total number of extra runs that the bowling team has delivered from matches as M. Okay, so this M alias has been used for the table matches. Join. Here also we're going to join the table, but in a different way. Deliveries as D on. Okay, so now in this on we are going to give the common column. So D dot match ID is equal to M dot ID. Okay, where extra runs are greater than 0. And finally, group by m dot id, comma d dot bowling team. Okay, so group by has been applied on the match id and on the bowling team. Now let's run this. Just a second. This is D dot. Okay. Group statement. So you see, you should be careful while typing the queries. Yes, so for match number 1, for the bowling team RCB, they have bowled 7 extra runs. Okay, similarly for match number 1 for Sunrisers Hyderabad, they had bowled 6 extra runs. So for each match, you will have 2 teams, okay, that are bowling. One will bowl in the first inning, the other one will bowl in the second inning. So accordingly, for each match number, you have 2 teams that are bowling. So that you have the extra runs, okay, number of extra runs that each team has bowled in each match. Okay, so what we have done, select match ID, the bowling team we have selected. Okay, why? Because we want to find the data for each team and for each match, okay, in each match. That is why we are extracting these columns, match ID and bowling team. Then we have applied the sum on the extra runs column, and we have joined the 2 tables, and then we have applied group by on ID and bowling team, because that is the requirement of the question. Okay, let's move ahead to the next 11th question. Which bowler has the best bowling figures, that is the most wickets taken in a single match? In a single match they have asked, okay? So let's find it out. Select m.id as match number, d dot bowler, comma, count star as wickets taken. Okay, from matches as m. Again, we are going to join the tables. Deliveries as d, on d dot match id equal to m dot id. Okay, our tables have been joined. Now in the where condition, we have to specify the wickets taken. So information about wickets, as we know, is always present in the player dismissed column. Okay, so on the 13th, this 13th row, which means on this ball, David Warner was dismissed. So that is the wicket that is taken. Okay, so where what we're going to do is d dot player dismissed column should not be null. Okay, that will indicate that a wicket is taken. After that, group by, we'll apply group by on ID, MID and D bowler, because we want the data for each bowler and in each match, because we want the highest economy in highest performance for a single match. We are going to wickets taken, we are going to arrange it in that order, descending, because we want the highest wicket taker. Limit 1. Okay, now let's run this. So you see, Sohail Tanveer in the match number 83 has taken 6 wickets, which is the highest number of wickets and the best performance. So basically, we have extracted the match ID, the bowler name, and the count of records that come under this records from the 2 tables, matches and deliveries. Okay, where the player dismissed column should not be null. That indicates that a wicket is taken by the bowler. And we have grouped by ID and bowler, because we want the data for each bowler and each ID, and order by wickets taken in the descending order, limiting it to 1, because we want the highest wicket taker. So this was the 11th question. Now let's move ahead to the 12th question. How many matches resulted in a win for each team in each city? So this is for each team and for each city. So we will first extract the city and then the team. So m dot city case when m dot team 1 is equal to m dot winner. Here we are determining that which team is the winner. Then m dot team 1. When m dot team 2 is equal to m dot winner, then m dot team 2. Here basically what we are doing, we are determining the winner. Else draw, else the value will be draw. End as winning team. So we are simply finding out the winning team by comparing the team 1 with the winner value. If team 1 is equal to the winner value, then team 1 will be the winner. Else if team 2 is the winner value, then team 2 will be the winning team. Okay. Comma. Count of star as wins. Okay. From where? From matches. Again, we will be joining it with deliveries as M. Join it with deliveries as D on D dot match underscore ID is equal to M dot ID. Okay. Where M dot result. Okay. The result should not be tie. Okay. Only such values will be considered. Group by M city, because we want it for each city and for each winning team. Okay, let's run this. So you see, in the Hyderabad city, winning team Sunrisers Hyderabad has got 104.43 wins. Okay. So this is how each and everything is calculated, the records. Now let's look at the query. So first we select the city. Okay. Then we determine the winning team as I explained it to you using the case when. Then we count the number of wins, okay, from the two tables, matches and deliveries, and we have simply grouped it on the city and the winning team. Okay, this is just a simple query where we have used the case when and the group by. Okay, now let's move ahead to the 13th question. Question 13 says, how many times did each team win the toss in each season? Now this is a question about the toss. Okay, and how many times has each team won the toss in each season? So toss winning data is present in the matches table. Okay, you see toss winner over here. So this will be just a simple query. Most of you all have been had been guessed it also. So m dot season, m dot toss winner, comma count star as toss wins. This is the alias name from matches group by season, comma toss winner. Here you don't need this. This is winner. So you see, in 2017, RCB had won 9 tosses. Our Rising Pune Super Giants had won 6 tosses. Okay, so like that, you have got the data or the records. So I hope you've understood this 13 query because it is a very easy one. We have just applied group by, okay, on the toss winner. Okay, on the toss winner column. That is all, and we have counted the records under that. Now let's move ahead with the next question, the question number 40. How many matches did each player win the player of the match award? Now in the first question we had done a similar query, but we have found out the top 5. But here we want to find out for each and every player in the data. So let's do that. Select m dot player of match. This is the name of the column, comma count star as total wins from matches where player of match is not null. Okay, it should not be null. Group by player of match. So this will be just grouping it by player of match. Then we will order by total wins because we are just seeing it in the descending order. Let's remove this M. Okay, now let's run. So you see player of name of the match and total wins. Okay, this is in the descending order. You can also put it in the ascending order or in no order if you want. So we have this is a simple group by where we have extracted a player of match and counted the number of records under each player of the match. Okay, let's move ahead with the next one, which is the 15th question. What is the average number of runs scored in each over of the innings in each match? So here you have to find out the number of runs, average runs in each over, okay, and in each inning. So select m.id, d.inning. Then you also have to find out the over number because you want the data for each over. Then you will take the average of d.total runs. Why average? Because we want to find out the average runs. As average runs per over. This is the alias name that we have given. From matches as M, join deliveries as D, on D dot match underscore ID equal to M dot ID. Okay. Then finally we will apply the group by based on ID, then inning and the over. Okay, now let's run this. So you see in the first match, in the ID number 1 match number 1, in the inning 1, in the over 1, the average runs were 1. Okay, so similarly for each match, for each inning and for each over, we have calculated the average runs per over. This is also a very simple group by query where for each ID, for each inning and for each over, we have simply calculated the average total runs by joining the two tables, matches and deliveries. Now, the 16th question that we want to see, which team has the highest total score in a single match? Okay. In a single match, who has the highest total score? So simply we will be selecting the season first. MID as match number. This will be the match number and then the batting team, because you also want to see the batting team, that which team has scored the highest. Sum of D dot total runs. This will be just the total runs. Now we will be joining the two tables. I'll just simply copy it from here. After joining the two tables, we'll be simply applying the group by based on season and match, and also for the team, batting team, because we are finding the data for each team, correct? And now we will be ordering based on the total score because we want the highest one. Okay, so whenever you want the highest or the lowest such records, you will always have to apply the order by and then limit 1 because we want the top 1. So now let's run this. So in the season 2008, in the match number 61, Chennai Super Kings had a total score of 240, which is the highest score in a single match. Okay, so we had required to find out the total score in a single match. That is why we had extracted this season and match ID. Because each season, each match is a unique one, which is a single match. That is why we had to extract these two columns and also the batting team. Yes, so this is a very simple query. We have applied group by on the 3 columns and we extracted the sum of total runs. Now our very last question, the question number 17. Which batsman has scored the most runs in a single match? We had previously seen the most wickets in a single match. Now we're going to see the most runs in a single match. So this will be very similar. Okay, I'll just copy the previous one. It is very similar. Only in place of the batting team, you will have the batsman name. So season ID will remain the same. This will be changing to batsman. Okay, sum of total runs will not be there. This will be batsman runs because batsman runs are calculated for the total score of the batsman as total runs. Okay, from matches this will remain the same. In the group by, this will change. This will be batsman now, and here you will have runs. Okay, done. Now let's run this. So you see, Brendan McCullum is the batsman having the highest total runs in a single match. The runs are 158. So I hope you've understood the 17th query. It was very similar to the 16th one. Okay, so that is all. We have solved all the 17 queries using MySQL Workbench. If you have any doubts regarding to it, you can put it down in the comments section. And if you're using any other platform to solve the query, you can adjust the the syntax accordingly, and you can solve it. Take reference of various websites, and you can solve the questions easily. If you have any doubts, you can put it down in the comment section, and don't forget to share this video. And also, one important thing is that first you need to study the data. Okay, the 2 tables that we have given, first you need to study them well. Why? Because when you understand all the columns, then only you will able to solve the questions related to it. Okay, so first when you get the case study, please study the data properly, and then you can move ahead to solving the case study. So thanks for watching the video. If you have liked it, please share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do subscribe it. And if you have any doubts, you can put it down in the comment section. We'll definitely try to solve it out. And if you have any alternative solutions for any of the question, you can put it down. So thank you, and keep following.